if you use market, just letting you know right now, if you use market, you're losing money, brother. You may be profiting, you may be profitable, but you're not making the P&L that you should be making. At the end of the day, when you sell profit or you buy, when you sell at market or you buy at market, you're automatically down as soon as you get into the trade, right? So I highly recommend you to be able to sell at limit, right? So what do we have here? Opening range, we break through that. So the next 15-minute candle breaks through it and you're in calls the entire time. Aside from that, what formation is this right here? Again, we cover this every single class. 4-bar play. Now, where's our entry? Our entry is where? On the 4-bar play. At the base, you got it. So on the 4-bar play is very different than the 3-bar play. It's the same concept, just an additional what? An additional candle. So this will be right here, our base, right? And again, we break through 306.23. That right there could be our entry for calls. And let's go ahead and continue playing it. Small pullback, which is fine. High or low, we still hold our support. And at the end of the day, there's no reason. The question, so how are you entering? I'm asking the question, so how are you entering and exit so fast? Your order needs to be filled first. I mean, yeah, I use interactive brokers. That's what I use for scalping. Everything that I do is limit, and it works pretty well. Honestly, it doesn't take me more than 10 seconds to get filled. I sell at limit. I buy at limit. I do my biggest mistake this summer was buying at market every single time, and I was getting crushed. Listen, to the point that on Thinkorswim, I will be up $2,000, $3,000, and I will sell market, and it will only give me $500, right? So always stick with limits, 100%. Having issues placing puts and calls with hotkeys and all on IBKR, we'll definitely take a look at that after the market recap, and hopefully I'll be able to rectify that. I'm telling you, do not go for market. The only way that I would recommend you to go for market is for some reason you are down a ridiculous amount, and you know that the stock price will continue going down. That's when you will be able to say, you know what, let me go ahead and do market, because with market, I need to get out of the trade. That is the only time. Besides that, if you miss the entry, that's totally cool. Do not chase the trade. I promise you chasing the trade, you will only lose money. You don't count those dots as pre-market. No, so I only count the brown. I mean, you're going to see some stocks like for example, CrowdStrike. If you look at CrowdStrike, their pre-market data is not the greatest, and they have like these little like dash lines. It's so tough on those different tickers. So here's what I recommend you to do. When you see this, it's very hard for you to, I mean, that is not pre-market high, pre-market low. I mean, you don't have any candlestick there. That's just a dash line, and I do not know why certain brokers. I know that Thinkorswim, TradingView, they do represent it this way for CrowdStrike and other tickers. The way that I will recommend you to trade is based off the high of the previous day. So for example, here on CrowdStrike, the high was 171. And I mean, the first 15-minute candle, we blew through that. That right there should have been your indicator to get its calls, right? So aside from the pre-market high and pre-market low, you should always take into account the previous day's high and the previous day's low. Why? Because at the end of the day, if I see that we rejected at 171, which is right here on CrowdStrike yesterday, right? We rejected here. And then today we come into the market and we blow through it. It means that what? That the sellers are no longer here. And we have what? We have more buyers than sellers. Hence, the price should definitely go up. That's what would be my recommendation for those stocks that have those dash lines, right? All right, so let's go down the list. Famous Square. All right, so Famous Square, we have first the daily outlook. Again, I think I plotted this like bearish pennant that we had on Square. And this is one that is just consolidating, honestly, just lots of consolidation. Can someone name me what's a tool that we use to be able to understand if a stock is squeezing or consolidating? I basically just gave it away, but what is the indicator that we can use? The TTM squeeze, right? But TTM squeeze, for those that are new, is a momentum indicator. It allows you to understand. Angel said that's Bay, 100%. It allows you to understand, the momentum of the stock based off the different bars. And of course, off the dots, we're able to understand whether or not that security is squeezing. So if the dots are red, that security is indeed squeezing. And at the moment, we are getting some bullish bars, just representing that at the moment, we do have some buyers that are currently present here when it comes to Square. Again, the same levels stay the same for me. I would love to see Square get above 88.54 and then hopefully get back to 97. So what does the black dot mean? The black dot means that there's low compression. It means that we're not really squeezing, but we're not trending either, right? There's still some consolidation, but not as heavy, right? So just to give everybody a quick recap of the dots, the black one is low compression. The red one is, yes, we are currently consolidating. And then we have the orange one. Whenever you see the orange one means high compression. We are trading sideways heavy. There's no trend whatsoever. And at the moment, we are seeing red dots here when it comes to Square. Now, what happens after a consolidation phase? Can someone tell me what happens? If we're squeezing for so long, what's bound to happen? A breakout, right? So definitely keep an eye here when it comes to Square. We are indeed consolidating, but if I were you, I would definitely keep an eye at that 88.5 level. And then for puts, I will keep an eye at that 80 or 79 level. If we go below that, we should be able to go back down to 74, then 65, which is the crazy thought that I had a few months ago, which it did go here. And if we break that, it will definitely go down to 54. Now, if we do have more bullish sentiment on the more positive side here for Square, it will go to 85.5, then hopefully get back to 97. We do have a big gap that we have to fill here to be able to get back to the highs. That is my outlook here when it comes to Square, right? Next, we have AMD. AMD is one that, again, that bearish flag is still intact, and I'll show you what this looks like. Again, please be able to study the chart patterns. It will definitely help you out. And we have here this bearish pennant, bearish flag at the moment, and we just hit the top of the trend line, and we're coming right back down. This is one that on the 5-minute time frame today, we did have a lot of opportunities to be able to trade it. One off of just the ORB, you could have definitely made some money. Something that you're going to see, especially at market open, is you're always going to see where a stock is not just going to make green candles all day, right? Once you're able to understand that a red candle is okay, like if I'm in a trade, right, and I'm up, let's say 50%, 40%, 30%, and I see a red candle, do not panic. Why? Because it's okay that AMD will pop up and come back down and make a higher low and then go right back up. At the end of the day, what do we care about? Market structure. Market structure is what we care about. So for that reason, today, AMD definitely presented some call opportunity here at open. On top of that, it also presented opportunity for puts here based off the break of this trend line. You could have definitely caught some puts towards the downside. And then, of course, you could have also caught calls back up again here, later in the afternoon. I would say that, AMD is one that has to go above 107. 107 is a critical level, has always been a critical level for AMD. And then, of course, the level 100 still stays intact. 100 is a very critical psychological level for AMD, so definitely keep that into account.